thanks for joining me. So today we're going to be tying a Muskins buzzer. The hook I have in the vise is a Kamasan B175 size 12, and the thread I'm going to be using today is Uni-Thread black N80. So we'll catch on our thread about 3 or 4 mil behind our eye and work down in touching turns just towards the bend of the hook, just where the bend starts, and break off. So for the tail of our fly we're going to be using some dyed black pheasant tail. I'm just going to pick off, depending on the size of your fly. This is a 12, so we'll go maybe just not quite as many as that. There we go. What are we looking there? Probably 10 fibres. Just pluck them off. Now for the length of our tail, you're talking roughly, well, probably what we've covered in our thread, so either shank length or slightly shorter. And take a few turns over the top, 3 or 4 turns just to hold it in place, because we're going to be using the remainder as our body. Now for the rib, I have some 0.2 mil Semperfli silver wire. So we just peel back the pheasant tail and catch in probably about 6 inches or so. That's enough to do probably half a dozen or so flies anyway. So we'll bind that in, bring our thread back down, a few more turns just to force our pheasant tail back a bit, and bring our thread back up to where we want our body to end. Generally you're looking for a 2/3 third body to thorax ratio. We'll just take our pheasant tail fibres and counterwind them back up our shank and catch off with our thread. So you can either keep these bits and fold them back for a thorax cover, or if you want, trim them off and tie in new ones if you find they're getting in your way. So just as a way of keeping the bulk down, we'll keep them there. Now I'll take my silver wire, and we've counterwound our pheasant tail, so if we take this the same direction as our thread, that should help lock everything down in and add a bit more security. So open turns, really as many as you would think yourself. You can have less or more, it's all down to personal opinion. And bind it down, just worry our wire off. So we'll take the remainder of our pheasant tail fibres and we'll just tease them back, tie them down. And this will be our thorax cover. Just want to make sure we have plenty of room here. And now we'll bring our thread forward, laying a nice base just to within a mil or so of our eye. So now I'm going to take some white Aerowing. Just pull off, you don't really need much, an inch or so is plenty. So we have our Aerowing, lay it over the top, 2 or 3 turns, twist it round, and then we're going to just wrap it figure 8 just to separate it. These are going to be our breathers. Now you want to make sure you've got plenty of room at your eye for finishing the fly off, tying down your thorax cover and whip finishing. And we take our thread back down to where our thorax cover starts. Now for the thorax cover I'm going to be using some, this is red Litebrite, it's a synthetic dubbin, but You could use green, pearl, even some natural fibres. We'll just dub a bit of that onto your thread. And just build up a bit of a thorax. I like to dub it on reasonably tight. I'm going to velcro the fly after it's finished anyway, and that'll tease out a few fibres. So just build up the thread like your thorax. It's not too bad there. Now we're going to take our pheasant fibres, pull them over the front, just pinch them down tight, and we'll get, oh, hang on, we're bringing a lot of the Litebrite with us. Am I going to get rid of this now? Pinch it off. There we go. Not that it would make a difference, I suppose. So back to where we were, thorax cover pulled over the front, just separating the breathers. 3 or 4 turns, and a couple of turns under it. Just helps kick the fibres up. Then we take our scissors in, nice and tight, trim it off. So we're just going to use a bit of thread here to build up our head. See, there's a strand or two of the red in there, so we'll bind that down, try and hide it, and whip finish. Half a dozen turns. Trim off our thread. Now, just tease our fibres forward again, and you can trim them as long as you want. I like the breathers relatively short, so we'll just go with that. And a little bit of velcro for our thorax, not too much, just to rough it up a wee bit. Hopefully once you start catching a few fish, that'll pull plenty of fibres out. Again, if you think you've too much, you can come in with your scissors and just trim it down a bit. And there we have the Muskins buzzer. Semperfli and a hatch of buzzers. I prefer it on the top dropper, but really you could fish it anywhere. Team of them. Just add a bit of varnish there, and that's us finished. Get the underside of it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel, but all my videos are all public anyway, so whether you do or not, they'll all be available, and hope to see you again soon.